Alright, our wing layup is complete. I've started the infill process. And again, I start on the underwing side typically, and with the center section, if there is one. Oftentimes, I mean, you can either have a center section with two outer panels, or in a lot of cases it's just two halves of a wing that join right down a center line. In this case we have a small center section, and that's why I have just about completed that infill first. I left the leading edge open here. I haven't infilled the leading edge yet. So here's our wing view from the front. You can see we're pretty much straight across the top and then angling upward from the center panel out to the wingtips. That's pretty much how it's supposed to look. If we set it on the deck and press down on the center, we should have the same height of spacing at the wingtips. See that there's about a, oh, I don't know, about 5/8 of an inch, almost. No, it's probably closer to, I don't know, 3/4 of an inch at the tips, and that's about right. We have all the stringers installed. We have the ribs installed. Obviously, this is basic assembly with a flying model of a rubber band type flying model. Here's the point where you would typically sand everything smooth and shape the leading edges, and then apply the silk span or the paper, the tissue covering at this point to the wing. Since we're building a scale model and I'm doing infill, we're doing the infill now. Again, I do the center wing section if there is one, and then we infill from the middle of the wing out to the tip. So we panel the center of the wing first, and we'll do either the leading or trailing edge next. I guess I tend to do trailing edge first and then the leading edge. It doesn't really matter, but that's what I typically do. And once that's all done, we'll flip it over and we'll go again down the center section of the top halves on each side. Well, first we'll do the middle section of the wing, and then we'll do the center of the panels, wing panels, extending out to the wingtips. On these wingtips, I'm going to be just laying sheet stock into the wingtip area here and building it all the way up to the thickest part of this rib, and then sanding and contouring our wingtips. This is the way I typically do a wingtip. I think the last 5 or 6 of these I built, that's how I've done it. It's just, we just do solid stock material on the ends, just laid up and then sanded to shape. So that's how we'll do this. And then again, once the wing is done, this is the last really major component of the airplane. Everything else is finished, at least to the point where it's all but prepped for paint. So if we park our Air Express over here, let's see if I can fit this all together here. We almost have an airplane, and as soon as I get this wing done, we can start looking at how that's going to install in there, and we can start talking about paint. It's kind of hard to tell how that's going to look, but yeah, we almost have an airplane. Something like that, I guess. I don't know. Let's see. Anyway, we're moving along. Infill takes a lot of time. I'm probably not going to post much more than progress videos. I've got a couple of videos that show how I do infill, working videos that show the process of how it's done. But if you've seen them already, you know what I'm doing here. I'm just going to be taking cutting strips like this of a certain size. Let's see how that fits between these two rails, these two stringers. This fits between them. And then what we do is we just mark our rib positions and then make those cuts, and then take that piece and install it, and then move it right down the line. Makes it a little quicker, but it's a time-consuming and relatively tedious process. I like doing it, so I do it. Others may not care for this style of construction, and what I do is I just visualize the outcome. I visualize the final product, as we did with the fuselage, and I just try to keep that in my head as I'm working. You know, what we're working toward, I guess, is what motivates me. So everybody is different. Some people, you know, just don't like to do this kind of task. I'm a tasker. I like it. I like having you know, different various tasks to accomplish to reach a final goal, a building forward, I guess, to an outcome that, you know, that you can appreciate. And so that's how I'm able to do it, I guess. I'm wired that way. So I'll come back when there's a little more progress here, and again, we'll just do progress reports until I'm ready to start sanding and shaping this wing. Yeah, okay, later.